again and again. One more time, forever and ever. One more time. I just gotta see Texas again. Oh, Lord, Lord, Lord. Gotta see Texas again. Yes, I do.
From Burleson to Venus and Grandview to Godley, this is the voice of Johnson County, Joco Community Radio.
Wilfred Brimley for Loafing Dog.
I'm Wilfred Brimley for Loafing Dog. You know, when I get the hankering for a hot dog, I go to Cleveland, Texas. Just a couple blocks off the square, they got Loafing Dog. They got the Neely Dog, the Mary Sunshine Dog, the Casey Dog, and the Shirley Dog. Why, they even got the Pacer Dog, the Brooklyn Dog, and the Jim Dog. Can't forget the Shane Dog, or the Joy Dog, and the Monty Dog. I like that fool. Then the Kia Dog and the Braxton Dog round things off. Why, they even got a kids menu too.
Loafing Dog, 208 East Chambers Street, Cleveland, Texas. Lunch, catering, or takeout, plus outdoor seating. Phone number is 817-556-1040.
This is Wilfred Brimley. And don't forget, Loafing Dog won't give you diabetes.
If you're trying to quit drinking or doing too many drugs, listen to me. You don't know me and we'll never meet. I had a problem like you once. I drank and used to party a little too much till it got out of control and almost ruined my life. I realized I needed help to fix my problem before it totally destroyed me. If you've tried to fix your drinking and drug problem and you know you can't do it alone, you need to call the National Treatment Advisors. They'll immerse you into a 30-day program to replace your old habits with new habits and totally change your life. And if you have PPO private health insurance, the entire program may be covered. Fix your problem right now before it gets any worse. Get clean. Call now and learn more. 877-247-1581. 877-247-1581. 877-247-1581.
Hey, there's something you forgot to do. It sure is hot. Are you sweating like a dog? Wait, what? Dogs don't sweat. Oh no, you forgot to get your window tinted. Whether it's the kitchen window that sits in the sun for the hottest part of the day, or you just got new wheels, call Sharp Window Tinting in Burleson. 817-615-9379, or look them up on the web, sharpwindowtint.com.
At Romika Designs, we're more than just a laser engraving and specialty design company. Much more. I'm Ron Phillips, co-owner of Romika Designs, and if you can dream it, we can probably make it. We can custom laser cut and engrave on nearly all material. Great for one-of-a-kind gifts, home decor, business and specialty items, or personalized and logoed designs created just for you or your company. Allow us to become your go-to gift and specialty project partner. Romika Designs can help make your ideas a reality. We're ready to help you design and create that special gift for any occasion or engrave your personal or business logo on just about any product. View our designs at romikadesigns.com or simply email us with your ideas. We specialize in custom design and would be honored to have the opportunity to discuss it with you. Call us at 817-400-4040, email info@romikadesigns.com, or visit us on the web at romikadesigns.com.
Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395, 800-709-4395, 800-709-4395, 800-709-4395.
Joco Community Radio. Listen live at jococommunityradio.com.
Can y'all hear me? Gotcha.
Yes.
We love this song.
Going cruising, baby.
Hey, I would dance for that. cruise song.
I like it.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. It is Monday night, and we are here at the Bombshell Radio Show. And tonight we have a couple of guests with us. So I'm Lori Moore, and my co-host Tiffany Hurd will be here in a minute. She had something else to take care of, and she'll be popping in here in just a second. But we have JJ Wagner and Sherry Wagner that have a YouTube video about cruising. So we are going to talk all the things about cruising, because who's not ready to go back on vacation right now?
Everybody's ready.
I mean, it is crazy. Like my wife and I love to vacation, and we go as often as we can. We have some friends that live in Mexico on the island of Isla Mujeres.
Okay.
So it was super easy to get. It was super easy to get in and out of there,
right?
Because we didn't have to. They don't have a resort. They have an Airbnb, and it's their house.
Right.
So we've been over there 12 times in the past 3 years. So but we went New Year's in Cancun Airport. Was ridiculous.
Crazy busy.
I mean, stupid, ridiculous. I think at this point, everybody's just like
tired of it.
They just want to go. Like, just want to go.
Get me out of my house and let me travel and see the world.
So we haven't done a cruise in 2 years. Actually, it's almost 3 years, I think, since we've been.
Past time.
It is past time. So time for us to go.
Absolutely.
So which one of y'all wants to go first? Let's talk about your YouTube channel. And
let me turn you over to the CEO
of the company. I know
that's scary. We were cruising anyway. And speaking of Mexico, when cruising was shut down, which was like 15 months long, we went to Mexico to all inclusives.
Yes.
So we were traveling, and then before that, JJ's family, some of his family lives up in the New York area. So we had been to New York City a couple of times. I had never been up there. I'm a Texas girl.
Oh, I love New York City.
Me too.
So we did those, and we filmed a little bit, videos here and there, pictures and everything, because we were traveling. So we thought, we're traveling anyway. And a lot of people did not, were not able to, could not, were choosing not to.
Right.
And we thought, why don't we just share our travels and let them live vicariously through us? So we just started a YouTube channel. I already had a YouTube channel that I had started back in 2016. It was about fitness. It was like After 40 Fitness, called something like that. And I was just I had done all this research, and we had both lost weight at the time. And so I was trying to share my knowledge about that, but I hadn't done anything with that since 2017, because it took a lot.
Cruising is more fun.
It took a lot of work.
Any traveling is more fun.
Yes. So the channel was already there. And so we just thought, let's just start sharing our cruising adventures.
So just renamed it and moved on.
It's now called All Things Wagner.
I love it.
Wagner. All Things Wagner, because that's our last name. And we were originally going to make it kind of a vlog. This is our life. Who knows what it's going to be about? But then we love cruising, and we already had a couple of those Mexican resort all-inclusive videos up there. And so it's really about travel.
Yeah.
We did love the all-inclusive.
We like the all-inclusive too. Although, like on Isla, our friends, that live on Isla, the island is so small that we love the local, we love the local stuff. And they've been over there now, I think almost 4 years. And so they know, they recognize us now when we go to the beach clubs and things like that. And so we want to go. I know. So we go around and check all that stuff out, and we love it. But we do like the all-inclusives as well. There's a couple in Mexico that we really like.
It was really the closest thing we could find to cruising. It wasn't on the water.
Right.
But it was near the water, and everything was included, just like on a cruise. So it was really good for us as a plan B during that time.
Great food, great service.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
We started cruising in 2011.
Right.
Together was our first cruise. And our first cruise, actually, I took both my parents, and I took a friend of mine and her widowed mother. And so it was kind of a little group. And my parents had cruised before. They'd gone to Alaska years ago. And but we were the cruise newbies. And our first two cruises were on Carnival. Our third one was on Norwegian. And then since then has been Royal Caribbean. And we've kind of stuck with Royal Caribbean. We were talking about that everyone just kind of finds their cruise personality and finds the ship that they like best and the cruise line that they like best. And they find the activities that they like best and the programs and the drink package and the dining package that suits them the best. And they stick with that. That's kind of been, Royal Caribbean has kind of been that for us. And so...
Hi,
how are you?
I'm just so excited to meet your beautiful wife for the first time in person.
Beautiful, I know.
You are, although brilliant as well.
Oh, thank you.
With the exception of marrying me, I guess. That's okay.
I don't think so.
They're
think she made
sweet.
a great choice.
Yeah,
So
are sweet.
I didn't mean to interrupt.
No,
I just want to say good evening. You want to hang on to that? I will. I got the squeaky chair.
You do, yeah. Because
I'm
I was
sorry.
thinking, like, oh, I know.
I was sure if it was me or not.
I was a little panicked when I got here because I'm like, I haven't seen the new box with all the new stuff, and I was like,
You don't have to
okay.
touch that.
And I was like, what am I supposed to be doing? And I need you to take me home when we get done because I locked my keys in the car.
She
Oh.
has had a day.
Oopsie.
Yeah. So yeah, when they got here, this is all.
Is it cruise time?
This is all I have with me. Is this right here?
Oh, thank God.
Everything else is in the car.
And I was at a school board meeting, so I apologize for my late arrival.
Taking care of business.
Did you actually introduce yourselves? I mean, I was listening
did,
on the
yes.
drive-in, so
Yes.
I didn't know if
Yeah, she was telling us that she had started out with a fitness blog.
Yeah.
And then
Well, hello.
Then she didn't wasn't doing anything with that, and they liked the cruises so much they just rebranded it and renamed it to a cruise blog.
Okay,
Cruise
so let me
travel.
ask you this on the. So, do you exercise regularly when you go on a cruise?
We used to more so than we do now.
Is this
Okay.
true confessions?
It went downhill. It started with.
I mean, you have to walk,
yes,
right?
We take our
Yeah,
our workout
to the main
clothes,
dining room and to the
pack
casino.
'em, go to the gym 3 times during the week during the 7-night cruise. Of course. And then it went to, okay, so we still take the gym clothes and then we go maybe 2 times while we're there. And then it went to, we take the cruise clothes. I mean, we take the workout clothes and then maybe we don't go to the
wear
gym
'em.
at
Yeah.
all.
Uh-huh.
And now
they
it's
never
like,
come out
really?
of the suitcase.
Yeah. Should we take the gym clothes at all?
No.
No, you're allowed to have a vacation. I mean,
Absolutely.
and I think that by the time you walk, I mean, like when we go out of Galveston, I mean, by the time we park in this parking garage across the street, so we walk all the way across the street. We've got to go through customs and security, and you got to walk on the ship. And you know what, Ziggs? That's a good day. I mean, that's a good day's exercise.
We
I think.
try to take the stairs as often
I
as we can
mean,
to
you
get
know.
our steps in and to work off all our desserts.
She takes the
She
stairs.
does not. She does not like me to take elevators.
His knees prefer the elevator.
Yeah, but it is that it's that free workout time. I mean, if you're not going to the gym to work out, I asked that question because Todd and I just went to Vegas, and that's one of our places that we like to frequent. And I recall him saying that, and we're going to work out every day while we're there.
That is a bold goal.
I work out.
I brought my workout clothes.
I
I
work
brought
out
my
at-
sneakers.
I work out at the bar when I'm in
Yeah.
Vegas. That's all I do.
Well,
Get
I
the-
mean,
go to the D and get the big drinks. They're 20 ounces. That's like
that's a lot of weight to
You're
lift.
doing
Yeah.
curls.
I'm doing curls.
Yeah,
That's all
look here, see?
Well, I mean, the last time when we were there, right when the pandemic hit, was the last time that we had gone, and that was Valentine's weekend 2020.
2020.
Yeah, it has been.
I did 12,000 steps in a day.
Yeah.
So I mean, so you do get your exercise in if you're walking and you're heading to other places to shop and stuff. So, but that really kind of wasn't our goal for this one. It was really more relaxation and just to chill.
Yeah.
And so when he said that, I was like, yeah, I'm down with that. Let's work out.
Decompress.
How did that
Did you-
go?
I started to say, did
Yeah.
you work out?
No.
Gotta
we did not
There's no
work
way.
out.
There's no working out.
No,
No,
no
it's-
working.
we did not work out.
So
So
no, we do not, and we do not work out any longer on the cruise ship.
Yeah.
I don't blame you. I mean, from what I understand, there's a lot more to do, and I want you guys to dive in on that because I myself, like others, have never been on a cruise. And so, but I've always had this idea that I don't want to be trapped on the burning hotel that's out on the water. I want to be
mean,
able to jump ship and
They have
get out of
learned
there.
an awful lot since the Titanic.
I started saying the
I know,
Titanic is the
I
only one
know.
that's gone down.
Yeah.
So.
I know,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying,
Yeah.
there's
And
issues.
they've
I
gotten
have to
better
overcome
too.
them.
They've gotten better too. Like the last one that we went on, the first couple of ones that I went on, they call you down for the little safety briefing. 'Cause here's what
the
you're supposed to
muster
do.
drill.
Yeah, the muster drill. And the first couple of ones that I went on, I didn't make it there. And now they're like, Tiffany, Heard room 303. We
The
need you to
whole
show
set.
up for the. They will call you out,
They-
and they will not do the safety briefing until
They punk
every
you out.
single person is
Really?
there.
One
will
Yeah.
benefit of COVID and cruising is that they now do an e-muster. There is no
Oh.
more gathering out on
good.
the
Oh, that's
deck
even
waiting
better.
for
Yeah.
everybody. The drunk people who are coming in, like Lori coming in with her drink. Is this the muster area?
I was trying to hide out at that little thing on the front of the boat. You know, the little igloo hut thing that you
Oh, yeah,
that you
yeah.
shade or suntan in. I was hiding in there, and they came and got me. They were like, "Yeah,
You
need
need to
it."
go to muster. No, you
All
do
right.
it all on your phone on the app now.
Back up for me though for a minute. So from the time that you arrive at the ship to the time that you can actually start to relax and chill out or get to your room,
and wind down, or get your stuff unpacked if you're an unpacker. Again, never been on a cruise ship, so I for one, I mean, every time I'm in Vegas, it doesn't matter how many times I'm there or how many days I'm there, I do not put anything in the drawers because I do not want to forget anything in the drawers. And so that's like Todd's thing. He goes, you didn't put any of my stuff in the drawers. I'm like, no. Do we ever unpack for that
Still in the
reason? No.
suitcase.
Yeah. It's so from that time, like what's the time span? How long does that take?
Well, let's see. When we went on Symphony of the Seas, which is a Royal Caribbean ship. It was the biggest in the world until Wonder of the Seas, which is the one we're leaving on Friday. Until Wonder came out, Symphony was the biggest, and we went on it in September. of 21 last year. It was our first cruise in 714 days
714
throughout
days.
the shutdown.
Not that we counted.
We were really ready to go back. So from the time the line started moving to the time that we were stepping on board is maybe 20 minutes.
Yeah, because that's all regulated too.
Right.
Okay.
Now, they give you a set time to embark.
To get in line.
And don't go early because you're just going to wait till your
No,
time
it's-
comes
it's-
up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so like
it's-
you're scheduled for a certain time to get on the ship.
It's kind of
Yes,
like
that's
the
how
it's
they
kind
do.
of like the Southwest Airlines where you're numbered like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Right.
You are number 5. You get in line when it says number 5. You don't get in line if you're at 20 or at 1 or.
Oh, well,
you
that's
will get it.
better.
Yes,
It is.
it
And they
is.
do different groups of them, and you can pay to upgrade on a
To get
bunch
on
of the ships to
earlier?
get on early, but you don't always
Just
get
like on
your
Southwest.
Exactly.
Yes, but you
I
don't.
love.
But you don't get your luggage until later because they bring the luggage up later.
So they have time frames that you get in line
Yeah,
for,
yeah.
right? And again, it depends on the port too, because it depends on how quickly that port is moving and how fast the employees are moving. They're all back up and running now that cruising's been up for a while. And so it took us about 20 minutes. Now, once you get on board, then we have a video, in fact, on All Things Wagner that says the top 5 things to do when you embark.
Excellent. And by the way, we've shared that if you're watching, if you're a watcher, then you go to youtube.com/all things Wagner, and their channel will come up. Be sure to follow it and reach out with questions.
Absolutely.
You can contact them through there. And of course, if you're watching, you can click that link in the comments too. So, but All Things Wagner on YouTube, be sure to follow them and for all the tips and tricks and just to keep up. Because you're going to do some lives from the ship. Well, we're going to talk about that later, but anyway, keep going. So
you get on board, and so that video, in fact, I came up with an acronym that is MERGE, MERGE. So you get on board, and you can watch. I want people to watch the video, so maybe I won't give it all away, but it's MERGE, and you get on and you do your muster drill, and then you go eat. And then you make your reservations for your shows and your restaurants. People who've cruised before at all, and probably Lori, when you cruised before, you might have been able to make reservations online before the cruise.
Oh, that's what I was going to ask you.
Well, now with COVID, this may go back, but right now you make reservations once you get on the ship on the app. So it's very important to have a smartphone if you're cruising these days. You don't have to. They'll give you things in paper.
And it's super cool too, because like with the kids, everybody's on the app and you can talk to each other. Because you won't always have cell service, but on the ship, you can have ship to person service.
Did someone say I was taking children on a cruise?
I'm just saying for people that do take their children, because some people take their children.
Yeah. Sorry. I just want to check on that.
I mean, I've taken mine when she was a kid and when she was grown, so it's all good.
And Carnival does have, I think Carnival's Messenger app might be free. It might still be free.
Okay.
It was at one time. Royal charges $1.99 a day for the non-Wi-Fi package message app.
Okay.
If that's all you want, if you don't want a Wi-Fi, but generally,
I think the last time we went a couple years ago, which was right before COVID, I want to say it was $5 a person for the whole time that we were
for your Wi-Fi.
Yes.
Not for the Wi. No, for your
Just for
like
your
message
talking to
text
each
messaging.
other.
Oh,
Because
okay.
even like even if you and Todd separated on the ship and you wanted to be able to get a hold of him, you can text him through the app on the ship app, because you won't be able to use your Wi-Fi to be able to use your phones and your internet stuff like that is really expensive.
extra. Yeah.
It's way extra.
Oh, really?
And it's kind of sketchy because you're out in the middle of the ocean.
Oh, okay. So literally, I'm a learner,
Yes.
complete
Yeah.
learner and
Yes.
sponge of this process, because I know nothing about cruising except for the fact that if I were to do it, I know that I will not have an interior room. I got to have a big window. I got to be
Balcony.
Yes.
We have had every room that there is up to junior suite. So we've had an inside cabin.
Right.
And You were okay with it, weren't you?
I'm fine with it. I'm a guy.
I was not crazy.
I can't
about
do it. I'm claustrophobic.
He
So
likes dead out black when he sleeps. And I actually like to have the windows open because even while I'm napping, I like to be reminded I'm on vacation and it's daytime.
So
I can
are
nap.
there, are there typically no drapes or anything?
In an inside cabin,
There's
is.
no
No,
windows.
on
No
the I'm talking
windows.
about
Okay, no,
on a window
Oh
side.
no,
Yes,
there's
there
drapes.
are.
You have
Oh, okay.
drapes. Yeah,
So
you,
you
it's
can
like a
make it
hotel.
dark because
Yeah,
I
it's
do
like a
sleep like a
hotel.
vampire. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie.
But I like the balcony. But my
Yeah.
kids liked the interior rooms because they would stay out at the clubs at night and they wanted to sleep in the morning. And so it's pitch black until you get
As
up and flip a
long
light
as-
until you get up and
yes.
flip a light
As long
on.
as they
Oh,
sleep.
okay.
Because I didn't see we didn't see our kids till early afternoon. Where I wake up when the sun comes up and I want to sit on the balcony and drink my coffee and have a bagel and
Yes.
So these
There you
things
go.
alone are these right here, these tips alone, this is important so people understand what kind of room you would really want.
And inside rooms, of course, are the least expensive. So for people on a budget, you can still cruise. You can take a week-long cruise. You can take an 8-night cruise and still fit it within your budget. So you have the inside rooms, and then you have windows that are called portal rooms, and so you just have it's literally a porthole. You have a round window. So if you at least want to see the ocean and the sky, you can do that. And it's a little more expensive than inside room, depending on when you book and how you book. You can get a deal, and then you move up to a balcony room, and there's even different size balcony rooms. So you can get the smallest balcony room, obviously is less expensive. Then you get a larger, you can get a family size balcony. And on Royal Caribbean now they have 2-story suites.
Oh my
with
gosh.
With slides
How-
for the
I don't-
children.
I
How
don't
much is
wanna-
that?
I don't want my
In the
family to be in my room with
The,
me.
the inaugural sailing on Wonder of the Seas.
This is the one this is the one you're about to go on.
Yeah.
Yes.
So now do you have
4
one of
weeks
those?
ago on the inaugural?
okay, okay.
Yeah, it was $45,000 a week
For that huge suite.
for the
2-story
multi-story suite.
family suite. Yeah.
Yes,
So again,
but it's got everything in the world in it,
whatever budget you need to fit into.
Oh
you
my
can
gosh.
except a water slide.
And
but
they
that's
still-
outside.
45 grand
But they
for
have
a
the same
week.
thing. They've got like the penthouses that are up on top of everything.
Just like in a hotel.
just
Yes.
just like in a hotel. Your room is your so my trick is like when I book rooms. So when we took the whole family, I booked center ship. The minute 6th floor, you get off the elevator, and my room was right there. So no, I didn't even have to remember my room number. You just go on the elevator to the 6th
Which
floor,
was a good thing.
and there's my room. We've done it before too, where
It is.
I like
She's already told me.
I like the back of the boat too. And so we've stayed at the very end of the hallway. So you get off, I think we were on level 9 then, level 9, and you walk till you can't walk anymore, and there's your room. So I try to make my rooms real because you're going to be drinking on the ship.
And
You know
to
what we
end.
do? What we do to know our room? Not we don't drink anymore, but what we do, we have a magnet that I got from Vistaprint, and I put a couple pictures on there and some words.
Stick
and
it on
it's
our
like the
door.
Wagners. Like this is our. Well, we know which room ours is because it has.
Okay,
the
that's
pictures of-
brilliant.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's a
That is a
now.
brilliant idea.
Well, that's a thing now too. When I first started
Yes.
cruising, it wasn't people didn't decorate their doors.
Door decor.
Now
is
they
big
decorate
now.
the door and the hallway coming up to it, and you'll see like bachelorette party, bachelor party, new
Anniversary,
bride,
and it's
anniversary,
birthdays.
all yeah.
Some of it can be real fun.
Uh-huh.
So the doors are all metal.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so they're instant
And the
magnet.
walls-
I'm
The
telling you,
walls
I
are, the walls are metal too.
Walls in the room. Are
hadn't
metal.
really things I hadn't really
Yeah.
considered.
Yeah.
Being that you're on a ship,
Yep.
I would not have thought about the interior parts of it being that, but that makes a lot more sense
Yep.
because you're on a ship.
Right.
So I'm telling you, you're talking to a seriously not knowledgeable
Maybe-
person on
maybe
cruising
a lot of
whatsoever.
cruise newbies out there.
I-
So you're
This
not
could be
alone.
so, but these are some of those questions, right? That I have, and I know that people have talked about it, and Lori's talked about it before. That the ship is so big, you really don't know you're even on a ship. So therefore, I ask you, why a ship versus a resort? And I know you were talking about resorts before I came in. So what is that big difference for you than being on the beach or in that spot that you love so much? And walking out onto sand or not sand, it just depends on where you are and what
Right.
you want to do.
Right.
Ice caps may not be a place you want to step out and put your toes into. But what is it about the sea part, the ship part versus the resort?
There are different size ships. So if you want to know every minute that you're on a ship, you want to feel it all the time. When you step out anywhere, you see the ocean. There are ships that small. that you will still know you're on a cruise ship. If you don't necessarily care, you want to go to the ocean, the edge of the ship, and see that you're by the ocean. And any other time you want to feel like you're anywhere else having fun, there are ships like Wonder, that's the biggest in the world, that sometimes you'll know and sometimes you won't. So for me, it's being on the water and looking out and seeing nothing but water, which of
Gorgeous.
course is what freaks out other people.
Right.
JJ has an aunt that's like, no, I don't want to look out overboard and see nothing, but I don't see any land. Where am I? Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. I love just looking out and seeing God's creation and the sunset and the water and occasionally you'll see a fish or dolphin if you're near port or whatever.
And it's so blue. The
Yes.
water is
Unbelievably.
unbelievably blue. And the darker it gets, the deeper the water. And when the ship is cutting through the water, the wakes are white like snow. It's just gorgeous.
That's my favorite place.
Right?
Standing on the back of the boat, watching the boat go through
Wake
the water.
view is the best view.
That's my screensaver on one of my iPads at work is the wake on the back of the ship.
Yeah.
And it's peaceful. It's just noisy enough back there that it kind of it's like white noise kind of drowns everything out. And
Definitely.
it's fresh
Very peaceful.
ocean air. It is so peaceful.
Yes.
Woosa.
Yes, it is very much that.
Woosa.
It sounds like, okay, I've heard that sound, but on a much smaller boat. What have you ever cruised on a smaller ship too? Have you done any of the smaller ones?
We have. The smallest we've done is Liberty's bigger than
Was Conquest.
Adventure.
Conquest.
Oh, Conquest probably is. Yeah, we did.
All ocean cruisers?
Yes.
So I'm very interested in doing one of those European river cruises.
Oh, yeah.
And
You won't get seasick there.
right. And I don't want to get
Right.
seasick. Now, I've only gotten seasick. I didn't get seasick the last time I went out fishing, or rather, I'm sorry, when we were in St. Martin last year, we
On a fishing
we chartered
expedition?
no, we didn't fish. We chartered a boat for the entire day and drove the whole island, and I was so terrified that I was going to get sick. I had taken the Dramamine and I was like, oh.
So
I
Todd
never
was a
really took
captain?
this- No. We
Okay.
chartered. We did our own
I
private
got you.
thing.
I got
And
you.
people ask you, well, why did you charter your own? Why did you spend more money to do that? I said, because then we weren't beholden to any schedule
Right.
or to other people.
Or
So things-
responsible for
Right. And so think about those things when you're going off on excursions, which I definitely want to get into with you guys too. Excursions for when you are hitting all your port locations. So, but I went deep sea fishing a few years ago and that did not
Did
turn
not
out well.
agree with you. Well, JJ's been
It
sick
was bad.
twice on cruise ships. Our very first cruise, I was saying my parents and a friend of mine and her widowed mom went with us. So it was kind of a group. And the very first night, and it was on this Carnival cruise ship,
It was
that
so
the
bad.
weather was bad. The captain came over the next day and said veteran members of the crew were sick. So JJ didn't feel so bad. JJ and my mother both
Yep.
got sick. And I got car sick as a child. So I figured if anyone was going to get seasick, it was going to be me. And so I got the prescription from a doctor. I was ready. I was prepared. I did not get sick at all. Praise the Lord. JJ did. And then
I got sick.
this last cruise in January was on a somewhat smaller ship. It was the Adventure of the Seas for
Quite a
Royal
bit smaller
Caribbean.
than,
out of Galveston. And he got sick again. Rough waters. They had the barf bags out by the staircase. I mean,
I
the
did
cruise
not
line
need one of
knows.
those.
He did not. He was in the bed though. Over half the day.
It was rough seas,
Yeah.
and I've been out on fishing charters. I mean, I lived in Florida. I grew up in New Jersey, on the shore.
Jersey girl.
Yeah. And
Told
so I just never, I'm out there telling everybody, hey, this is where we are. This is where we are, coming around this curve. That's what that is. You're looking at this. And I did fine for some reason when I got inside the cabin. Once you start hitting that rough seas, if you're hitting rough seas, don't look out the window.
Right.
And I looked out the window. I don't know what I was doing.
Emotion hit you.
It
I want to
was
see how rough it is.
I was done.
Toast.
It was, yes, it
Well,
was.
on the larger ships, if you're in the center, you were talking about center cabin. If you're in the center and lower, that's the best place to be. So people who think they might get seasick on a
That's where you
cruise
want
ship,
a room.
That's where you want to be.
center and lower. But there are also all kind of remedies. People do the bracelet and people do the patches. Please watch out for
Yes.
prescription interaction with the patches. People just be
Just
sure
be
that your
sure.
doctor knows everything you're on. In January, we had a friend who did not do well. The
Oh.
medication she was on and the patch, it did not
Okay, good to know.
combine well.
So don't.
But there's also what is it? Some kind of like cinnamon. Someone was online talking about
Peppermint oil is
Peppermint
really
oil.
helpful.
Right.
I mean, and I had been, oiling up
right.
everybody
Essential
and
oils.
myself.
Foreheads.
Yes, absolutely.
But JJ got a prescription. He has some other medical things that like Bonine and Dramamine might interact with, and so he got some pills from his doctor for future cruises.
Okay,
so
good to know.
people don't ride off cruising just because you think you might get cruise sick.
I can't remember if it was the
seasick.
first one I took my daughter on or not. She was still young, and we were on one that was like you were walking down the hallways, you were catching one side,
Yes.
back to the other side. I'm like, I didn't get sick, but I was more worried of like, oh my gosh, what I've done with my kid. I brought my kid on this boat, and now now what's gonna happen?
That was my first cruise, the one you just described, wall to wall.
Well, when we come back, I want to hear. I want you to come back in. I want you to tell us what your biggest tip is for getting a great deal on a cruise. And then we're going to dive into some other questions and talk about ports and some of your favorite ports that you've done. And then, of course, I want to hear about where this next adventure is leading you to when we come back from the break here in just a second. Remember to go to youtube.com, search for All Things Wagner, or just go to / All Things Wagner and follow their page on cruising.
Subscribe, please.
Yeah, subscribe. I keep saying following, but it is subscribe.
Subscribe
I'm on the wrong.
The big
I'm on the
red button with subscribe.
I'm on the wrong streaming.
Well, it's because you're on
place.
all of them. So
Well, true. All right, we'll be right back, guys. Stay with us.
New Jersey girl.
JJ.
Hey travelers, do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call, because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. Our prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find ridiculously low prices for you. Call SmartFares today and get the best price on your next flight. Guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first class tickets.
855-325-1820. 855-325-1820. That's 855-325-1820.
Out of deck carpet giving you the blues? Tired of your old dingy and broken tile? Let my friends at the Floor Store in Cleveland, Texas give your home the makeover it deserves. This is Old Taco Joe coming to you for the Floor Store. Whether it's carpet, tile, wood flooring, or real wood laminate, the Floor Store can cover all of your flooring needs. Located at 405 West Henderson Street in Cleveland, Texas, owner Brent Harris can help. Shower tile, tub surrounds, even backsplashes. Give them a call today at 817-641-9444. The Floor Store, they got you covered.
When you're hungry for tender brisket or some delicious homemade cobbler, then look no further than Leach Brothers Barbecue, located at 1106 East Henderson, Cleveland, Texas. Leach Brothers has been family owned and operated since 1950. Take it from me, Taco Joe Orwinski. Todd and his family have been filling my belly breakfast, lunch, and dinner for a long time. Heck, I even have my own booth, open Monday through Saturday, 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. Come see them for dine-in, carry-out, and all your catering needs.
The voice of Johnson County, Joco Community Radio.
Cruise time, baby.
It is like a deck party.
It is a deck party.
Sail away party.
Sail away party.
I'll take that. Welcome back to the second half of the Bombshell here on Joco Community Radio. Joco Community Radio is proud to be the voice of Johnson County, Texas, and is live 365 on the TuneIn Radio Network. To listen or watch, simply go to tuneinjoco.com to choose where and how. The Joco Community Radio app is now available for free on Android and will soon be available on all iOS devices. Simply search your store. Check out our lineup and more on jococommunityradio.com. This episode and more brought to you by Patriot Claims, making your insurance work for you. Reach out to your local Texas sales rep, Nona Reed, at 844-TEX-HAIL. That's 844-839-4244. 888-445. Get her in your corner before the next storm hits, because 99% of the time, insurance does not want to pay the full amount of your claim. And we just end up in court over it. It's so ridiculous, but it is the truth. So let her help you do that before, because hail happens. You know what I mean? So,
Hail's coming.
I'm Tiffany Carlen.
I bet she can also help with travel insurance.
Well, she can't have. Nope. We have
no?
the wonderful Magnolia Insurance Advisors here in the office who share space with us, and they can help with travel insurance, which is a great point that we want to touch on. I'm Tiffany Carlen with Lori Moore with the amazing Wagners here to join us, talking all about cruising. What's the best tips and tricks? They got an awesome YouTube channel out there, All Things Wagner. Make sure you subscribe and watch their videos. They're going to be adding some more next week because they're going cruising
Big trip.
soon. So let's talk about those let's talk about those tips that you were just talking about. You were talking about you can find good deals.
Absolutely.
Right. Pretty much on any travel that you do, but you got to know where to look. I have zero idea how to help someone find a good deal on cruising. So what's your trick?
Well, first of all, watch All Things Wagner, Wagner. I'm gonna get those tags in for advice. But our second number one is use a travel agent.
Absolutely.
It is free. They can get you what's called an onboard credit, which is free money to spend on board on anything you want on board. They can get you discounts, and a good travel agent who is what they call a cruise specialist and will even be certified with certain cruise lines. Cruise lines will give them a test or put them through their program basically, and then certify them on Royal Caribbean or Carnival or Norwegian or whatever cruise line. And so they have a direct contact to that cruise line. So we highly recommend a travel agent. Our travel agent for our cruise in January got us, from the time we booked till the time we cruised, 2 price drops.
Wow.
So
because they follow all the price drops for you.
Exactly.
And where I have a tendency when I book something, I just book it and
leave it.
And a travel agent gets notifications when things are going to go down, and they'll
And we all have lives. I mean, you have jobs, you have families, you have other things to contend with. That's the travel agent's job. And I highly recommend, because during COVID, it was like pulling teeth to get a hold of the online conglomerate travel agent we had used. And I won't mention the name because it's nothing personal. Right.
Yeah.
But I highly recommend you get a travel agent who works from home, can be reached on their cell or on their email or on Facebook personal message anytime. When the world falls apart and shuts down, you can still get a hold of your travel agent, as opposed to like cruises.com or something like that.
It's more personal. It's more personalized service.
Absolutely.
And they get to know you, I would assume,
and your habits and your likes.
I was just going to say your cruising habits, what you like, where do you want to go? Do you have favorite ports that you've visited in the past, or ones that you're looking forward to hitting? And what is that process like, by the way?
We have been
What's your favorite, Sherry?
spoiled.
What's your favorite?
First world problems. We've been spoiled with the Western Caribbean because those in Texas or nearby Texas can just drive down to Galveston and you go, and you don't have to pay for flight. So it cuts your vacation costs in half sometimes. And so we have worn out the Western Caribbean. But I would think probably my favorite in the Western Caribbean it's probably Cozumel. It's very touristy, but it also has some great beach resorts. And so it has a little bit of everything. If you want to go out in the middle of the jungle on a Jeep safari or an ATV tour, you can in Cozumel. If you want to stay in the port and be hounded by all the jewelry salesmen, you can do that too. You can sit there and negotiate if you want to. So Cozumel is a little bit of everything on the Western Caribbean. We really have tried to save up and book more of the Eastern Caribbean. You have to go out of Florida. The cruises out of Florida go to both the Western and the Eastern, but the cruises out of Galveston only go to the Western.
Okay.
So keep that in mind. If you live in Texas and you're planning a Western Caribbean cruise, there's no need to fly to Florida. You can cruise out of Galveston.
So are you mostly cruising out of Miami? The Miami area when you're hitting the eastern
Absolutely.
Yes, Miami
seaboard,
or Fort Lauderdale.
Or Fort Lauderdale.
Yes.
I asked that because we flew to St. Martin. And so, I mean, you could tell when you're coming back in, I mean, it doesn't matter. No matter what, you're dropping in Miami.
Right.
Yes.
Before you get on to your final destination,
Right.
It seemed, unless you live on the East Coast. And so, and that's how we traveled. Have Have you ever ported in St. Martin?
Yes.
And did you like it?
Just once.
Yes.
We did. Yeah.
It's beautiful.
We like it there. We
Yes.
had a really good travel. He and his, what were they called? Captain Bob's, isn't he in St. Martin?
Captain Bob.
Yeah,
We've been there
Captain
more than
Bob's.
once.
Soliga Destinations actually is the website. But
Captain Bob's is awesome.
Yes.
By the
okay.
way.
Yeah.
He's from New York City.
New York City.
He was a photographer, and he and his son Brett moved to St. Martin and started this business. And now they have like 3 jet boats. I don't know what you call them. They have like 3 outboard motors.
It's crazy. We met more people who moved, live on their boats, and then work on the island.
Oh yes.
Jamie's got a friend that he retired, retired, and him and his girlfriend have a boat, and they post all the time about where they're going out of, and they're down in Florida right now. They've gotten caught in a couple of storms and stuff like that, but they post where they're going and stuff all the time too.
It's a fascinating place
Because it's got the Dutch and the
French
side.
Yes. And it's amazing people. I honestly cannot wait to go back there. Our trip was cut short for personal reasons by a day. We had to race home, but it was one of the most amazing places I've ever been to.
They're lovely people.
So
they are.
Because we've been to the Western Caribbean ports so much. So again, Cozumel is my favorite in Western Caribbean, but Eastern Caribbean is. One time we went down to Aruba and Curacao on a Southern Caribbean cruise, and because those were so new, I think we really liked them. We really liked Aruba.
Well, my favorite is Old San Juan.
Oh, Puerto Rico.
Okay.
I love Puerto Rico.
Yeah. Just the culture and the food.
The culture,
and the
the
vibe,
people.
the decor.
Old
everything.
San Juan is amazing.
So rich in culture.
See, you're intriguing me now.
So we've done,
you can open up. So that's what I was going to say is this. I like to get toes in the sand. I like to land and then I'm there. But what you're talking about, the opportunity to hit try multiple places, right?
Yes.
And this is really the reason that I love cruising so much, because my dad was a Baptist preacher. My mom was a school teacher. We didn't have a lot of money. So when I was growing up, we went to see family for vacations. We didn't go skiing. We didn't go to the lake. We didn't do any of those things because we didn't have the money. We went to Tennessee to see family. So on a cruise, I realized quickly I can see 3 countries sometimes in a week.
Sometimes more.
Definitely cities in a week. And I can experience all of the culture and the food and the people and the vibe of that country, or maybe city in the same country, in a week, in 7 nights.
Now, when you get off and you port and you go into San Juan you spend a day, 2 days sometimes in some of these places, or no?
Some do. Most of them, it's just a certain
day.
amount of time, like 6 or 7 hours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, yeah.
So if it's an overnight, do you come back to the ship at night then?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
You don't get a hotel and stay
No,
on the
not at all.
island. You go back to the boat.
All included on the ship. You've already paid for it.
All right. I was going to question that. It's like, but do people do that?
Sure.
I don't think you can.
What do
I
you
think
mean?
You have to come back.
click you back into
Oh,
the ship.
no. I misunderstood.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to come back to the ship.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's not an option.
Yeah.
Okay.
They need to know that you're okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's
Well, yeah, they're
again,
they're checking in on
I
you.
don't know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you get a little card that's called a cruise card, and every cruise line does it. And it is your pass for everything. You pay for it with your cruise card, and you have to have it to get off and back on the ship, because they have to know that everybody's on board.
Similar to a resort. Everything goes on the room.
Yes.
Yeah,
Right.
but see,
But
they
you
know,
can come
they
in and
know
out.
they know you're out of your house.
You're off
On
the
a
ship.
cruise
Yeah,
ship.
that makes sense.
And-
That makes sense to
They
want
carry
to
these
do
little
that.
they carry these little iPad things now that it's like better than security at the airport, because they see everybody's face pop up as you're walking in and
Facial
out.
recognition is
Uh-huh.
good.
Oh,
And,
really?
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
I dig that.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
yeah.
started that a lot for COVID because they were doing contact tracing when they were finally able to start cruising again after
Right.
15 months. They were doing contact tracing. So it was really easy to say, Joe Blow is quarantined now. Who has he been around
Right.
for more than 15 minutes the last day?
And then the look on the ship like on facial recognition stuff.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Yeah.
brilliant.
But for people who might be scared too of the COVID on a cruise ship, they all along have had lower infection rates than on land. Period. It's just a statistical fact. So it has been easy for the CDC to trace cruise ships because they have data and they can force them to report the data. But like airlines, They haven't
No, you
kept
can't.
data.
There's nothing.
Haven't kept data on
Yeah.
a plane, but they've done everything for the cruise ships. And literally, their statistics of infection rates have been lower than on land. So it's one of the safest places. And of course, everybody, again, people might not know when they cruise. Right now, most of all cruise lines, you have to be vaccinated. COVID vaccination. They have exemptions for religious and medical reasons, but most of those are for children under 12. Most of those slots are filled up with children under 12. So right now, you have to be vaccinated. And 2 days before embarkation, every adult has a antigen test or a PCR. So everyone's tested for COVID. Children are up to 3 days sometimes, and they have to have a PCR. Depends on the cruise line, but everybody on board is tested. Where can you go in life that you know everyone's vaccinated
So will
and
they
tested?
will they continue that? So the airlines are getting ready to lift the mask
mask,
mandate. I think we're there actually. I think it's within this
it's the
next week.
18th.
It's the 18th.
Yeah, April 18th. Yeah.
So will the ships will they follow suit at some point?
Probably so. The masks are already optional on cruise ships. That started May 4th, I think. And they, there's rumors. I think the vaccination requirement will probably continue. That's just my guess from what I'm reading in the news and hearing the other vloggers in the arena say.
Well, and you were talking about the river cruise, wanted to do the river cruise, and I've got a couple of clients that have done that, and they tested them every single morning. You can't leave your room each morning until they come by and do a rapid test on you each morning.
Is it because most of those are in Europe?
I think because they're such close quarters, there's
That's
not
true.
there's
That's
not
a small
anywhere.
number.
Yeah, there's only like several hundred people or
Right.
something on some of those
200 or
boats.
300.
Right.
So,
A
but
daily test. Oh my
Yeah, that's
goodness!
crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so I might be waiting a while on that river cruise.
Might be a
just saying.
cruise ship for you instead.
Right.
Hey.
I'm gonna have to go bigger.
Well, think of it this way: she saved you from a skull scrape every day.
Yes, seriously.
But you have to look at like we've been on the cruises we've been on. Depends on what time of year you go. We went on one in the summertime when, like, I think an entire family from Houston was on the cruise ship with us, and it was packed. It was stupid packed. And then we've gone before in like mid-April and like walked right on the boat, and it's not completely full.
Yeah.
And they're still not completely full right now because there's still people are afraid to go. So it depends on your time of year. Again, that's something that a travel agent can help you to tell you when is the best time to go. And you do have to think about hurricanes and things like that. But again, going through a travel agent, if you get out there and something happens, your ports change or whatever, all you do is pick up the phone and call your travel agent or email them and say, we're not porting in Cozumel because of the hurricane. We're going to port in San Juan. So can you change my dinner reservations? Can you do this? Can you do that? And they'll get your money refunded back for any extra expenses or anything like that.
So they'll make, when you talk about getting dinner reservations when you first get on the ship, you're not talking about just on the ship.
Yes,
you're talking
just on
about
the ship.
just on the
Yes.
ship. Okay.
Because all cruise lines have included meal locations like the main dining room, also known as the MDR. And so you can go to the MDR dining room if you want to every night. They have lobster night. That's exciting. It's nice. It's fancy. Or you can wear your shorts and a polo shirt if you want to.
It's lobster night.
Right.
You had me at lobster.
It's all you can eat lobster night. But they also have what's called specialty restaurants where you can pay extra. So you can go on a cruise and everything can be included. You don't have to spend $1. I think the least we've ever spent is like $41, and it's because we bought a couple of t-shirts. And then we've spent much more when we bought him a watch or whatever.
Right.
So you can spend next to nothing. You can spend $0 on a cruise. Everything's included up front, or you can spend extra on like the specialty restaurants. So the specialty restaurants you need reservations for, and when you get on board, especially the larger ships, and now that they're increasing capacity, the CDC had shut down capacity numbers for cruise ships earlier, and now they just I think it was March, they just opened it up to allow them to 100% capacity again.
Wow.
To cruise.
So what's the average number of restaurants on a ship?
Depends on the ship.
size,
Depends on
Well,
completely depends on the size.
we're talking the one you're about to get on. How many?
Wonder has
5 or 6 specialty restaurants.
Okay.
Yeah.
On top of your main dining.
Yes.
And then there's the main dining room. Then there's the usually like a buffet, that is open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. There's like little sushi windows and sandwich windows and pizza. Pizza's the best. Pizza's the best. And now they'll
good on
on
a ship.
Yes.
And they make it fresh. You get to sit there and watch them make it. It's the best. And they'll deliver it to your room now. So that's even better.
True. That's true.
They have there's usually like a little Mexican food restaurant, or not a Mexican food window thing, and there's usually like Guy Fieri's is on all the Carnival
Guy's
cruise ships,
Burgers,
Guy's Burgers,
yes.
and you have all that kind of thing. So
Johnny
again, you can
Rockets is on Royal Caribbean.
yeah, right. So you can do any and same thing with your bars and stuff like that.
There's a bar everywhere.
There's a bar everywhere, but there's like a piano bar and a cigar lounge and a comedy club and a karaoke bar and the casino, and then there's a night show that is every night something different with dancers and
singers
and singers.
It's literally
and
like going to Vegas.
Broadway shows.
but it's all it's all in
It's
one
Vegas on the water.
Yeah, and there is as much or as little as you want to do.
Exactly.
What's the best show you've ever seen? Do you do shows when you do the ships?
Oh
When you
yeah.
guys
We
cruise?
did like Mamma Mia.
Mamma Mia was amazing.
Yes. Before
Okay.
COVID, almost every cruise ship had like a Broadway-esque, like a huge stage production. Sometimes it's a literal Broadway title.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just a large stage production. But after COVID, they were shut down for 15 months. So you got to redo rehearsals, and you got to find people who still need a job, and you get all that stuff for
See, I should go
entertainers.
apply again. I try.
There you go.
I did. I applied when I was 24. I believe I was 24.
10 years ago?
acting, singing,
24
dancing.
years ago.
What did you apply for?
Singing. And I was accepted, and I panicked. I was like, oh my gosh, I have to commit, and I'm going to be on a ship for how long?
Yes.
I don't get
6
to
to
come
9
back.
months. Yeah.
So you
I don't get to come back at all during that time.
So you do realize
Navy.
Yeah, I just couldn't. I couldn't commit. I was
away
like,
that
no, and I had a dog. So I was like, what am I
So
gonna do
you
with
can
my
do that.
dog?
So you do realize, like on a cruise ship, like if you're the singer at night at the show, you're not just the singer because you're waiting tables for lunch and you're a bartender at this time and you're doing this. Like
I think
you have like 7 jobs on the boat.
I look back and I think that would have been such a cool experience in my 20s.
Absolutely.
But it just wasn't meant to be. I was
It is
meant to
true.
meet my husband.
It is
so-
true, at least the entertainment staff, from what we now know, usually get the easy
little
jobs.
easier, yeah.
It's the MDR staff and the buffet staff that have, you're exactly right, like 5 jobs, and they get like 1 day off. That's usually a half a day.
They get like 6 hours
Yeah.
once.
The
once a
cruise
week.
lines recruit in these. I mean, third world country sounds extreme, sounds hyperbolic, but it really is. They go to these third and they go to the college campuses, so they have English speakers. But these people work on these cruise lines for 6 to 9 months contracts. And I mean, one of our MDR waiters had worked for Royal Caribbean for 35
years.
Sending money
Wow.
home to his family,
Yep.
going home every 6 to 9 months, and then restarting a new contract. And they make more money on the cruise ships than they ever could in
in
these
their own,
Absolutely.
in their own
countries,
country.
right?
Aren't
But
you-
they are
what
they're
I-
overworked. They
what-
really work hard.
So what I like about the cruises too is like one of our ports was Grand Cayman, and
Good port.
freaking love Grand Cayman. So
Good
we
port.
would fly back just to Grand Cayman and stay at Grand Cayman.
Mhm.
Like we didn't care for Jamaica, but we've heard some other people say you didn't go to the right part of Jamaica. But Jamie wasn't feeling well the day we were in Jamaica, so we didn't venture too far. We didn't venture too far out. But that's kind of the cool thing about. Like she said, you can go to 5 different countries in your 7-day cruise, and then you can pick and choose. Like, oh, I'm going back to Grand Cayman for
Right.
7 days, or I'm going back here, or I'm glad I didn't book a trip and go and stay there for 7 days when I hate it in 6 hours. So,
Go back to the ship, right? You can always go back to the ship.
Yes.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
and
you
if you
eat
don't
and
like
drink-
it,
eat
yeah,
and drink to your heart's content.
exactly.
Especially these Oasis class ships. They have Central Park
Yes, the
with
Royal
3
Caribbean.
specialty restaurants off of Central Park in the very center of the ship.
They have a neighbor. They're called
I'm gonna
neighborhoods
have-
on Royal Caribbean, and they
You
have a
need to go
boardwalk.
Check it out on the
I'm gonna
video.
go take like a
Yes,
video
with a
tour of a
carousel.
ship.
Yes.
Oh, that's crazy.
Wonder of the
y-
Seas.
You don't think about how big it is. Now, when we were in St. Martin last July, there was a ship that was docked,
Sure.
left
Ported, yeah.
empty. And they were just, you just felt so bad for the
Yes.
people because they were just getting to start coming back in. I think the first ship came in a week after we left. They got their first port. And, so you get we took a taxi tour, which the island is not very big. So if you've been on it, then
Right.
you can either drive the whole thing or you can't take a boat technically around the whole island because if you're on the Dutch side, the waterways are Dutch and you're not supposed to curve around to the French. Our guy did though. So we saw
Captain
Trump's
Captain Bob
Trump's
does
house.
too.
Yeah, we
Yeah, we
played
did
on Trump's beach.
I was like, and it's for sale. I don't know if it's sold yet or not, but we're like, holy cow, that's for sale for just a small amount of money.
Sure.
But still, it was just interesting to at least, see it. But man,
Sherry left her
Did-
change purse at home, so she
yeah,
never
right.
got it.
Us too.
Mhm.
Did you happen to see? I'm totally selling St. Martin here because I love the people and I love the island and the water and the water.
Mm.
I've never ever jumped into seawater that was this deep, but I could see the bottom.
Everything.
Yeah.
Crystal
Now
clear.
I still swam really fast
And it
to
looks
the
like
shore.
it has food coloring in it.
Yes, it
So
does.
Unbelievably,
It's fake
turquoise
looking.
blue. Yes.
You would think it's fake.
especially if you've been in Gulf of Mexico, like you've been to Galveston.
Yes.
You're like,
you don't
I
know.
can't even see my foot down
It's
there.
You don't know what
completely,
beautiful seawater
completely
looks like.
different. Did you happen to stop and let a plane come in and land?
My father landed there
Yes.
several times as a pilot.
We
Blew people off the
Captain
fence.
Bob
Yes.
sits in the water.
Yeah.
So that the
I think
Maho Beach, is that what it's called?
Maho Beach.
Yes.
Yes.
I think so. Yeah.
I think you're
you
right.
can like almost feel like you're touching the bottom of the
It's
plane.
it's
Yeah,
insane. It's
crazy.
absolutely
Touch
wonderful.
the
I've got some video. I'll have to send it to y'all.
Touch the
But these are just the things that are the great things
You
to
can
see.
experience.
When were you when did you port in St. Martin?
September.
Oh, you just did it
Weren't
this
we
year.
there?
Yeah, September on Symphony.
21.
So
Mhm.
did you see the big shipping container that's stuck up in the mountain?
No.
On the side of the mountain.
No.
Next time you go, be sure to look. I'll have to send you what side of the island it's on, but it's from when the hurricane hit them.
Oh.
And so it's forever up there. I
Wow.
mean, they're still
blew it up there.
playing cleanup
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
from the hurricane, which is so amazing. How many ships and stuff are stuck and destroyed,
Yeah.
and so those people need your money. Go
Yes.
visit St.
Captain
Martin.
Bob
Absolutely.
Captain Bob had a restaurant that was part of the snorkel tour that he just always stopped at, and you would get out of the boat and go up and eat at this awesome beachside restaurant. It was blown away.
Blown away.
So,
So, yeah.
sad.
Yeah.
This is, I mean, we hit both the French and we stayed on the Dutch side, and they say party on the Dutch side, stay on the French. We like staying, we're going to stay on the Dutch, but, and go over and still experience the French. There's so much
Right.
to experience when you're cruising, however you're traveling to these islands. I got goosebumps. Just remember that these people, they're relying on our travel
Absolutely.
to survive.
Yeah.
I mean, their tourism is huge. So get off the ship and go spend some money, budget for it.
Right.
And let's talk about that. How do you guys budget for your incidentals for your cruising if you're hitting an island that you haven't hit before? Do you just kind of have an idea already as to what you might spend?
Yeah.
Because I think that's important for
we
people.
like to schedule everything ahead of time. So we try to book our cruises like a year in advance because then we can pay it off. Again, our travel agent has an awesome website and we can pay monthly.
Share your travel agent.
Her
Let's
name
do
is
it.
Cindy Evans Van Kirk, and it's Send Me Global. I can't remember. She's on Facebook. That's the easiest
Okay.
way to find her.
All right. We'll have to find her and add it into the
Cindy
comments.
Evans Van Kirk.
Because you can go through there and you can prepay for everything. You can prepay for
Yes.
your specialty restaurants. You
Your
can prepay,
excursions.
right? You can prepay for your excursions. You can prepay for your drinks. You can prepay for everything. So by the time you do get there, like she said, you've had a year to pay for
Pay
it.
it off.
And I mean, you can go, you can do anniversary things or whatever and get it all done ahead of time.
Which-
and then we don't worry about when we're on the cruise because we eat out and drink here and buy groceries and all that. And we just that's in our budget for the week of being able to spend out.
Do you get a refrigerator in your room, or you can bring coolers?
They have coolers. They're not as cold as your refrigerator at home. They'll keep some drinks cold.
Okay.
Like you wouldn't want to put raw meat in there because it's not
It's kind of
gonna
like
get
it's kind of like hotel.
Can you bring your
Yes.
own alcohol on?
No. Well,
No.
you can bring a bottle of wine per person. 2 bottles on a 7-day, I think, but you have to check it when you
you
go through
Okay.
customs. You have to check it to go on.
Okay, and then check it out.
I mean, there kind of might be some ways to think a little bit.
Okay, so a minute and a half left. And I do want to touch on something because you said you book a lot a year in advance, so it's important. This is where trip insurance is so important.
Absolutely. We've used it one time in 15 cruises. We actually had to use it, and it was a lot of paperwork, but it wasn't difficult. And right now, if you break your leg on a cruise ship excursion, God forbid, and like our friend who had the problem with the patch in her prescription medication in January. She was in med bay.
She was in med bay all day.
And so travel insurance you think is just in case you have to cancel your
Right.
cruise, and that is excellent. That's why we had to use it one time. JJ had to have
4
surgery 2
years
weeks
ago.
before a cruise.
There's a lot of places that you travel to. I mean, when we traveled to St. Martin, we had to prepay for an insurance just in case we did get
because
sick
your health
for while you
insurance
were
is
there.
not your Blue Cross Blue Shield Aetna and
Right.
stuff like
It's
that is
not
not good in other
gonna
countries.
apply.
Okay, so you guys are getting ready to take off next week. Where are you hitting?
Yes. We are hitting Labadee, Haiti, which is a Royal Caribbean private island, and then we go to San Juan, Puerto Rico,
My favorite.
and then we go to Charlotte, Emily, St. Thomas, and then we hit Coco Key, which is also a Royal Caribbean private island in Bahamas.
I thank you guys for joining us and sharing all these tips. I know I'm going to have you back on to talk about more, possibly next week. Joining us live
because we'll have vlogs of of the wonder of the seas coming up, because we'll be on her Friday, so watch out for the vlogs on our YouTube channel.
Okay, and we'll be in touch about you guys going live from the ship next week. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you guys for tuning in. All Things Wagner on YouTube. Have an amazing evening.
From Burleson to Venus and Grandview to Godley, this is the voice of Johnson County, Joco Community Radio.
Accelerated Graphics and Signs, 101 East Renfro, Sweet C in Burleson, Texas, can handle all of your graphic needs. Need a banner or promotional products for your business? They got you covered. T-shirts and caps for your group. All you need to figure out is if you want them screen printed or embroidered. How about some slick graphics on that hot ride to make you stand out from the